Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where in the world you are at the moment. Welcome to 30 Minutes Promoting Unity in Diversity with Wanny Angerer and Moving Cultures from Bangkok, Thailand. And today we have a very exciting guest. And her name is Joanne Ball-Burgess. How are you, Joanne?
Hi, Wanny. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being willing to share with the world your journey in life and also in your professional career. So who is Joanne Ball-Burgess?
Who is Joanne Ball-Burgess? I guess I'll talk about myself in third person. Joanne is a dreamer. Joanne is a creative. Joanne is a cerebral person with a lot of passion. So we have the cerebral and the passion combined. Joanne is a healer. Joanne is a mom. Joanne is so many things. So I guess we'll get into more of that as we go along. Right now, at the moment, I am the director of dance and education for Active City program, which is in the capital of Papua New Guinea in Port Moresby. So career-wise, that's what I'm doing right now.
It's great, Joanne, that you're always so committed with your present. And I think this is the message you have been delivering for so long. Can you tell us about your background?
My background, I'm Bermudian, born and raised in Bermuda. My father is Bermudian, my mother is Canadian. So I have those beautiful two heritages. Big shout out to my Bermudian family and my Canadian family. So growing up in Bermuda, small island, 60,000 people. We're familiar with loquat trees and the gumbays and hot cross buns and fish cakes and cassava pie. And we're friendly people. I would say we're people that are warm and friendly. And our island is hot and humid and beautiful, just like the people.
Everything sounds like family, weather, connections, right?
Yes. Yes.
You have been very lucky and also blessed with so many influences from around the world that has given you the opportunity to go back to your origins, to the beginning. How has been your searching of identity?
I find it just a very interesting question, Wanny, because the more I travel, the more I appreciate my own culture. The more I travel around the world, the more I see parallels and observations that can even relate to my own culture, and that even kind of it educates me more about my background in a way. Wherever I travel, I feel like I'm a student of that place. And from that appreciation of getting to know the new culture, then I have a deeper appreciation for my own. And in that way, I feel like that's a great way for people to learn their identity by traveling. Sometimes we think that we only learn who we are amongst the people that know us best. In a sense, that's true. But I found for myself that as I travel, I discover myself more deeply because I'm in a place that might not be so familiar. So it forces me like a mirror to look at myself even more. And it's a beautiful journey. I would never say that the process is finished. The journey is the destination for me.
There is a saying that medals don't win the war, because when you have achieved so many things in the past, of course, there are references. But as you mentioned at the beginning, your present is actually what determines where you are and who you are. How do you see your present
That's
now,
right.
thanks to whatever happened to you in the past?
So I repeat the last part of the question.
I was telling that how can you relate your present with your past?
My so my present with my past.
Mhm.
My past is it's like roots. That's my foundation. That's where it all started. So all the beauty of growing up and the process of getting where I am has brought me to this place. So I'm very appreciative of my past because it informs my present.
It is great to see how you celebrate all the opportunities life has given you. How do you see your future from now?
I have some ideas. I have more dreams, more books to write, more dances to choreograph, more communities to support, and bring magic and value to. I won't go into detail, but for me, whatever everyone sees happening now, these are dreams and goals from a good 10 years ago. So for me, I always keep dreaming. And I would say, if you want to know what's going to happen in my future, just keep watching. A lot of good things in store.
Joanne, let's talk about a more concrete definition. What happened with the idea of sharing your knowledge with the new generation? And how this new generation is going to be influenced by everything you already achieved?
That's a good question. I think we can start with my book that I just released. So I just released a book called Dancing with Tired Feet. And it's my anthology, close to a memoir, but it has a few nuances that are not memoir-like, more anthology-like. Um, I feel like that's a part of my legacy, Dancing with Tired Feet. Also my other children's books, The Lizard and the Rock and The Price is Called Penny, are also my legacy. The music videos that I create, the music that I create, the lives that I touch, these are ways that I'm leaving a legacy for the next generation. I often wonder if people, will remember what I'm doing, what I've done, at the end of it all. And I hope so. So all of these beautiful legacy projects, all of this traveling around the world is allowing me to leave a piece of myself in every place, to leave that beautiful light spark so that someone is touched. It's like, like they say, when you throw a little pebble in the sea and it makes that beautiful circle, and that ripple effect can change a nation. That's what I hope will happen, one step at a time as I live my life.
I think you already have done a great and very meaningful job mentoring youth, and they're actually the custodians of your legacy, because now you see them
Yeah.
in a different stage of their life, and you can see the influences you have actually given to them, and you can see yourself reflected on themselves. How do you feel about that?
It's interesting, after living in Kenya for 10 years and seeing the dancers who I have mentored today over a period of years and how they are excelling. Of course, things are still hard, but when I think about when I first moved to Kenya and different beautiful individuals that I met, and when I see them now, it's a beautiful thing. When I see how they're handling their business and how they're taking dance not just as a hobby or not just as something to get Facebook likes, but they're allowing their gifts to fuse and allowing themselves to even earn from what they love and through their discipline and training, then I know that I've left a mark in Kenya. When I go back to Bermuda and I meet the children who've read my books, who grew up reading The Lizard and the Rock and The Price is Called Penny, and now they're in their 20s, and they remember that story, and they remember that those stories were about dreams and allowing yourself to find your individuality so that big change can happen. When I meet those children who remember my stories, and I know in Bermuda I left a legacy. When I keep in touch with dear friends from Jerusalem and China and Mexico and Cyprus and Egypt and Rwanda, and all the beautiful places that I've been to where I've either danced or used dance as a method for healing. And I talk about this in my book, in Dancing with Tired Feet, and being able to use dance to unify, being able to use dance to heal, being able to use dance to cross over ethnic boundaries. And people remember that, and they're using that as a part of their healing process to this day. Then I know that I've left a legacy in those places as well. When I see my children and the fearlessness that they have, and all three of them, and how they are confident at the age they are now, and they have their all unique gifts. My second son is genius in science, and he's making batteries, and I'm not even saying it correctly because he would have all the scientific names. That's fantastic for me. My first son, who's great at everything, and his confidence and how he looks people in the eye when he communicates. I'm like, wow, it took me to become an adult to get there, and he's right there. And then the baby Rain, and how he's just fearless and bold and ready to speak his mind. Those are all legacy moments, whether my children that I've given birth to, or those I've mentored, or those that I've come in contact with in some way. I feel already that I've created a legacy, although there's so much more life to be lived.
Joanne, it's beautiful, you know, to see how all these moments keep paving the way for other people, because your kids are now the ones who are transferring this information to other people they are related to. Do you ever imagine that your life was going to be like a connector?
I think if I would have known my life would have turned out this way as a child, I would have ran and hid under the pillow. So, I'm in a way, I kind of had a feeling as a child that I was not going to stay in Bermuda for my whole life consistently. I always felt a bit different, a little bit out of place, in a good way, a little bit unique, I suppose. But no, I didn't have a clue how life would turn out. And I'm really thankful with the process. I have no regrets. Just living, just being. So we wanted to talk about dancing with tired feet. And I would say, you know, this is the book. It's not just about dance. It's literally dance as a metaphor for life. And, you know, Dancing with Tired Feet as being the latest legacy project that I've released. It's kind of like that metaphor where when life makes you feel tired, the stage of life, sometimes we're on the stage of life and we feel tired. We don't feel like dancing anymore. We can dance again. The music of life is like the destiny, like our destiny, and it calls out to us. And it invites us to dance on this stage. It invites us to be great. And to be great is different for each of us. What does that mean to be great? To follow our heart song, to connect with the divine, to forgive others when we need to forgive, to find joy in the simple things of life, to love ourselves and others, to not be violent, to show nonviolence, firstly to ourselves, to be kind to ourselves. Like all those beautiful, beautiful things are guides and pointers, and allow us just to dance and not have tired feet. So when we feel tired, these are things that we can cleave to and cling to, no matter which religion or no matter what we follow. As humans in the world, all these principles can apply.
Joanne, do you realize that all the struggles you have been through have actually molded you into a more bold and more introspective person? And that stage of your life, and that stage in your life is now testimony for people. So they don't go to the classes because you've been doing it for so long. They go because they see the Joanne of today. And they will like also to reach, and they will like also to reach that level. What can you tell to the public about this process? Because it has not been easy.
Let me talk about one part of the process. So also in Dancing with Tired Feet, it's the absolute first time that I recount the story of the Westgate Mall attack and my experience surviving the Westgate Mall attack. And that particular event in my life, although there's been several traumatic events, that was probably one of the heaviest. Escaping with my life from the Westgate Mall while it was under siege by terrorists 7 years ago. After that experience, that's where I started to realize the simple things, the things that really mattered. You know, we kind of like to get caught up in buying this or that, or excelling in our career, or how much we have in our bank accounts, or whatever we think is the way forward. After the Westgate Mall attack, simple things like putting my feet in blades of grass felt like gold, you know? Um, Experiencing a sun shower felt amazing. And yes, you're right, Wanny, it definitely propelled me to want to help people. There's certain things we do because we need to pay the bills. And there's other things that we do because I always say we charge it to the love account. It goes into our love account. We do it for love because these are just beautiful gifts to give to the world. And yeah, it's something how these beautiful processes that in the moment they don't seem beautiful are those things that allow for beauty to flourish much later.
Your parents play a very important role in your way of being. How do you see your parents now that you're in this side of your life, the way you saw your parents in the past when you were a small girl?
I think it's interesting as people, as children, we don't understand what it means to be a parent or what our parents are going through until we become one ourselves. And I'll answer that question by saying when I gave birth to my first son, I remember saying, "Oh my goodness, I just want to call my mother and tell her I'm sorry for everything I did to you because I was born." And that's my joke. You know, we don't realize the weight of what it means to be a parent. We actually don't realize as children that our parents don't have necessarily a manual to follow, and they're doing the best that they can do with the information that they have. And so what being a parent has taught me is patience with myself and others, and even more forgiveness, because as humans, all of us, parents or whatever, we are still working through our processes, even when we're raising a life, when we're trying to raise these little guys. And that's also a part of the beauty of the process.
Did any one of your ancestors or close relatives were also so deeply engaged in arts and dance and culture the way you are?
I'm not sure. I'm told that there's a lot of creativity, like on my mother's side, um, in Canada, in with the dance and the arts and that sort of thing. But as far as being able to join the arts and the theoretical, the arts and the research in such a distinct way, kind of equally, I'm sure it's in my family, but I don't know who exactly that is.
Mm-hmm. I think it also comes in your genes because you come from a very musical and expressive cultures, you know, being a Bermudian and also a Canadian who also have a very strong tribal roots. What can you tell me about the tribe connection?
But that I think that's a whole nother conversation for absolutely another day. We'd be here for a while, so let's save that one for another day.
Okay, great. So we have with us the video clip that actually comes by the hand with your book. So let's play it for the public to enjoy your creative work and result, you know, of this beautiful journey. So let's do a sharing here. Okay, share the sound. shirt. And let's get the music going. Let's see.
Like tired feet on the dance floor. Tired feet on the dance floor. Tired feet on the dance floor. Broken promise, quiet grudges, ceiling made of glass. Shallow pleasantries judge what they see and hold you far. Doubtful as they yearn to trust as they walk along their way. Your life is a storybook that only you can read. It's like I'm learning to dance, starting all over with tired feet on the dance floor. It's like I'm learning to dance with tired feet on the dance floor. Starting all over again. Learning to dance with tired feet. Treasured words rarely spoken. Hopeful dreams so gently felt. Learning again, my heart so open. Surreal but real. These two words I live and feel. I've come a long way home, and I found my dreams protected here. My dreams are safe 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 here. Learning to dance with tired feet. Treasured words rarely spoken. Hopeful dreams so gently felt. Learning again, my heart to open. So real, but real. Can old wounds begin to feel? I've come a long way home, and I found my dreams protected here. Learning to dance with tired feet. Treasured words rarely spoken. Come a long way home, and found a dream safe here.
Bravo.
Thank you. That was tired
Joanne,
feet.
it's so appealing, and it's no way that you cannot stop watching, at the moment starts, you just go on and on. Tell us, how
True.
do you came about this concept?
Tired feet. Um, Interestingly enough, the song Tired Feet is a project that I started over 10 years ago. I had just moved back from Jerusalem. We lived in Jerusalem. Actually, my first two sons were born there. And when I got back to Bermuda, having two little babies, and I had two C-sections at that time, and hernia repair, and one of the C-sections was an emergency C-section. And with all the trauma done to my body, I wasn't sure if I would dance again. So the idea of tired feet was one that I came up with for literally, like literally tired feet, and also metaphorically. I always say my feet feel tired. I don't know if I can dance again. But I wrote a poem, and it was basically, I wasn't sure whether to call it at that time Tired Feet or My Dreams Are Safe Here. because it was like, even though the feet were tired, you know, I've come a long way home, but that coming a long way home wasn't like I'm coming back to Bermuda. It was more like I'm coming back to myself. I found my dreams protected here in my heart. That's the concept of tired feet. And then, so I had that song over 10 years ago, and I didn't record or release it. And during COVID, when, you know, 2019, we were stuck in the house and we didn't know what to do, it really gave me time to complete the book, Dancing with Tired Feet, as well as to actually sit down and complete the project, the song project, Tired Feet. And with the music video, I wanted to focus on two scenarios that what people were going through in Nairobi, in Kenya, where you had dancers who were talented, but they were not making money. And you see the aerialist, she's walking through the slum and she looks very sad. She's wearing her mask, but they were trying to find different ways to earn a living, because literally there were no dance gigs happening. So this metaphorically was a shout out and a support and advocacy for dancers as the first story, specifically in Kenya. And the second story was, you know, when people were stuck in the house in 2019, and probably still now in some places in the world, it forces us to have to deal with our demons. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to look at themselves. So what happens is that 2019 was a time where people drank more. A lot of people were drinking more. Mental health issues were on the rise. And a lot of people suffered in that way. We talk about people, you know, suffering with this respiratory thing, this COVID thing, but we forget about the causes, you know, what price people are paying for being alone in the house. And those mental issues, you know, people need support and people don't always have access to that. So in the video, you see, you know, a couple and, you know, the husband or boyfriend, we're not sure what he is struggling in this way. And we see him making a choice to try to do better. And in the song, you see little bits of happy endings, but you also have questions. So whatever happened to the dancer? What happened to the couple, you know? And there's no answer, because I feel like as people, when we watch this music video and we watch these types of scenarios, it's up to us to decide what happens next. So in the music video, as we watch it, you know, I hope that people watch it and see a mirror in some ways for their own healing. What happens next is up to us. So this is the concept of tired feet. And that poem, Learning to Dance with Tired Feet, is in one of my stories in Dancing with Tired Feet. So this poem has literally sparked the song Tired Feet and also became the title for my book, Dancing with Tired Feet. And I definitely hope that more people will read it. Actually, it's set to be a bestseller by next year, so get on it early. And I'm really, really excited that this is something that's global. You know, Kindle, you can order it from anywhere. And, you know, I'm all the way over here in Papua New Guinea. And no matter where we are in the world, we can connect in this way. So it's kind of a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm very inspired by your book. It took me almost 2 days to finish it. You know, I sat and I'm saying this because for all those who have not yet got it, do it. It's very affordable, very easy to get it through Amazon. It's very easy to read, and it's also very enriching. So thank you, Joanne, so much, you know, for everything you do to promote unity, diversity, not only in your life, but in your community, immediate community, and in the global community. Because I know you personally, I know your love for humanity, I know the passion you have for the things you do, and how the people respond to that energy. And it's and actually, that has been the success story of your life, you know, with your enchantment and charisma and the belief that things can be better, people feels better.
Yes, absolutely.
And I definitely embrace you. I give you all my love, all the best in your career in Papua. I know people is doing amazingly because I follow your your lectures and your classes and your activities with the people there. And before we go, can you tell us how is the experience with the people from Papua New Guinea?
So far, so good. They think I'm from here. So a lot of them would say, oh, this is a Tolai girl. This is someone from East New Britain. So they want to put me here, which is fantastic. I don't necessarily feel out of place as when I look at the people here. The culture is very different. So getting to know the culture is not like anything I've ever experienced, different from a lot of things. At the same time, it's been really, really beautiful. I've grown a lot. I've been here for 5 months already. I feel like I'm starting to settle, and it's been a beautiful experience so far. I want to see how it continues to be.
Yeah, and like we say, the adjustment and adaptability process takes place every single day because circumstances are changing in regular basis. And I think the moment you move to a new society, the easier for you is to get back into that mindset that you need to learn and you need to understand things from a different perspective. So, Joanne, once again,
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank you so much for what you do, for who you are. And please keep shining. And we see you in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for the interview, Wanny. Blessings.
Thank you.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.